Oops. There goes.
Alright, so what we got is we're going to clean this rod. Again, these are really, they clean as it is, but it sits around in the shop, you get a little dust. And the main thing you really want to clean is these holes here. And your bolts, you know, your bolts have got oil in them. Back of the cap has, you see that oil, even though it looks clean, you still got little deposits of. I always use brake cleaner. You can buy it in a 5-gallon can.
You got pig mats in the bottom of that can there and everything.
Yeah, it soaks it up.
Yeah.
I always take it, spray down in it. So you see we got residue coming out. Just
clean the brass.
Brass good. Clean the bolt holes out good.
Clean her up, huh?
Clean her up. I tell you, I've used different kinds of brake cleaner.
You're going to go through a case of brake cleaner doing an engine, boy, I tell you.
Yeah, this here dries really quick. You can see it dried on the bolt now. See how it dries?
So there's not a lot of aerosol when you do blow it off.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
But I got lots of raw footage so I can edit it.
You get to open our Christmas gift here.
Christmas presents.
Yeah. It's always fun to open up gifts, right?
Yeah.
See what kind of goodies you have in store. You might need a trash can when you unpack everything. You got the liners, I have a lot of stuff packaged. These things here have a lot of stuff packaged.
Why not just throw them in the bin there?
Yeah.
That's the wrist pin?
That's the wrist pin. That's what I said, this stuff comes packaged really neatly.
Yeah, that way there's no dings or dents or.
Yeah. Everything's in a sealed plastic package. You got your piston, your snap rings are with the piston. I save these bags that the piston comes in, and once they're assembled, put oil in it, and if you see that one, it keeps everything from making such a mess. And again, I find my error, and that's the side I want to put the snap ring in.
Go shooting across the shop, you'd be like, Jesus, where'd it go?
Yeah, I always take my hands and hold it.
You're putting the open part towards the.
Yeah, I always do it toward me, but when I rotate the piston, guess what?
You do it towards you again, it's the opposite.
It's opposite.
Yeah.
So we got that part of it. Again, you have top 2, top 1.
The top would be facing down when you're putting one from the bottom.
And I always make sure that white is in between that, because that means the back part of it is back here. I've yet to see one that was apart in OE kits, but aftermarket kits again. They're bad about putting this stuff in there. Okay.
So you put that one on, and then you do the other two. Oh,
right.
Okay.
It keeps it from, because you don't use a ring spanner, so
right.
It's just easy to go down behind the skirt than trying to scratch the top of the piston. All right, so now we got our rings on. As before stated, I always put the snap ring on the front of the piston.
Okay.
That way, when I get ready to put the wrist pin in,
you don't have to fight it. Yeah.
I know that automatically is the front of the piston, so I don't have to keep looking. You don't make any mistakes that way. You're good to go. We discussed yesterday that the tab side
Right, the tab side of the
was
rod.
to the oil and piston coolant nozzle, which is on the driver's side, and then the stamp numbers that matched was on the exhaust side.
Yeah, and the stamp numbers that don't match are on the driver's
If
side.
I'm looking at it like that, I know Brazil's to the front on this particular rod, and I know the tabs are away from me, so if I'm putting it together, I always know that my snap ring's going to go down and the tab's always going to be toward me when I'm assembling these pistons.
Oh, okay.
It keeps me from making any mistake of getting the rod twisted up. So when I assemble the piston, first thing I do is put the snap ring in the front side.
Right.
The tab side's toward me all the time because that's the front of the piston,
Okay.
front of the rod,
Oh, cool.
and then, you know, just put it together that way. That keeps me from making any mistakes or getting them swapped
Right.
up. And it's really simple. And then you just put this in here. You'll find the hole. Dig a little bit. Once it gets there, it just goes right on it. And then you put this snap ring in. I don't know how true it is, but I was always told, always have your snap rings side to side.
To the side,
To the side.
not up or down.
Not up or down.
And which side does it matter? Does it matter, or just you make them opposite?
I just make them opposite.
Opposite. Okay. So the other snap ring's facing
Right.
that way, the gap, and that one's facing that way.
And so now this piston here is ready to have the oil ring, have all the rings saturated with oil.
Right.
We lubed up the wrist pin and the
With
bushing.
the engine assembly lube that you use,
The
the honey goop.
honey goop. So now we're ready to put the oil in the piston liner.
Oh, now you're going to oil the liner
Oil
and
the
get it
liner.
ready.
Get it ready.
Okay.
I always take my hand and just smear it around in there.
Okay. Did that little can work?
Yeah, works good.
Oh, so we can use that can smear
what
around.
I told Vin is that what I generally do, I build all my pistons up.
Okay.
I oil them up real good. The bag
Oh, and then you use the
piston
old
can
bag
in,
for the piston.
put it back in.
Yeah, keep it
It's
covered.
saturated, covered. Once we get them up, then at that point we can just start loading pistons. Alright, so we're loading our rings up, and again we're going to use this expansion tool to expand it
Now,
up.
why do you use a tool and not do it by hand again?
So if you do it by hand, you take a chance of scratching this coated piston,
Oh, yeah.
because you're going to have to do it like this and walk it around, and it's going to scratch the coating off the surface.
Right.
And you take a chance of breaking the ring too. Whereas if you take this, you open it up, and it just kind of just falls right down in this place. Alright, so we got the second one in. And again, they are marked, so you cannot, I ain't gonna say cannot, because anybody can mess up, but you should not be able to mess it up.
Now what do we do?
Okay, now I generally place them after I get ready, before I get ready to put the ring squeezer on, but when we get it here and it's, you can see it, you want to place the top ring like so. We're going to rotate it around where you can see the second ring. The second ring, we basically want to do 180 from the top ring, which will put us over on this, let's see, wrong ring, which will put us about right here.
So you don't want it exactly like this or exactly like this.
Right.
I know in the book, Cummins says don't put it like this, whatever you do.
Right, the Cummins says
Don't
not,
put the gaps in line with the
do
pin.
not put it in the pin area.
Right,
So basically you want it in the skirt area from here to here.
right.
And on the other side, we put it on the skirt area here. So we want the back one here. And then the oil ring, we'll turn it back around. Let's see. The oil ring's right here. So we want to put the oil ring right there. That way it's not lined up with this one, the top ring.
So it'll be about right there,
Right there.
there and there.
Right
That
there.
looks pretty good.
So when it's compressed, it'll look like
Yeah.
that.
But you don't also want it exactly this way
Right.
either.
Because what happens is this is an oil ring. So, guess what? If we put it like this,
yeah,
the oil is going to walk by. And if it don't get caught on the second ring, it's going to go to this top ring, and then you start burning oil.
okay.
Because it's getting by. I mean, it'd be very little. But if you did all of them like that, and
combine it, you got problems.
And
also, you got 2 sets of grooves that might create a problem in the line.
I never forget, we had a customer one time.
Really?
He said, I just had my engine rebuilt, and I mean, it had this gob amount of blow by.
Was it a dealer or major shop or some mom and pop?
It was an independent shop.
Independent?
And so he brought it to us like, man, you know, did they do a good job? What did they? I said, man, I don't know. I don't believe they rebuilt it with that much blow by.
That one, yeah.
And so anyway, it was a truck that we had to, it was a company I worked for, they financed trucks, so you know, I was like, well, we need to tear it apart and see what's going on. The guy can't make no money, he can't pay us. So when we pulled them out, all the rings were like this.
Oh my God.
And you see what that does. The compression was going right by here into the crankcase.
Oh yeah, that too, yeah,
just,
both directions.
Yeah. So I guess when they told them to line the rings up,
He lined them up all right.
they just didn't do them opposite of each other. You know, so you do not want them together. Even if they were just a little bit offset. You know, the gas can come right here to here to there.
Yeah.
You know, so you can still get passage of gas. So that's why you want this ring over here. So if compression did get by this ring, it's got to travel all the way back
all the way
here.
around, yeah.
And by that piston's coming back down anyway.
By then,
combustion cycle's over. And like I said, I usually do the ring setting just right before I put our ring squeezer on, because we're going to be putting the rod in. It's going to get them moved up anyway.
Right.
We're just doing it easy for the video where you can see.
Right.
But, we'll show that again later on.
So what's next?
Next, air it down, snap ring down.
Snap ring down.
Piston.
Super lube.
Yeah, we got to get the rod super lubed.
That's that Permatex engine assembly lube.
You know, you always got to lube your rod.
Honey goop. You got to lube your rod before you put it in.
That's it. Lube your rod. I get it just good and messy. This is one time that I can get by with getting messy. And again, tab toward me because I got the air facing down, which will be the front of the piston. Tab toward me. This side will be the front of the rod. And I put just a little bit on here.
That one don't matter which way it goes.
No, sir.
And don't drop it, huh?
Yeah, don't drop it. It's just pretty hard metal right here, boy. I tried to take one of these one time and I was going to turn it down. That wasn't happening.
You gonna turn it down and use it for something else?
Yeah.
An old one, yeah.
So we'll put this in here.
And then what?
We'll start this wrist pin. And then we'll just come right there. See how I picked the rod up?
Yeah, yeah.
It slid right in.
Then put your other snap ring.
Snap ring in. It's pretty wide, and these snap rings are no joke. So if you're gonna get a set of snap ring pliers, get a good set. Because if you don't, they will break the tips off.
Oh yeah.
And the last thing you want to do is have your hand right here and that tip come off, because it's a quick little thump, but it stings. I always hold it back side here in case it did try to jump off. It'd go flying in the air. And I'm not a good teacher, but what I can tell you is if this ring is not in there all the way, it'll you can see it's going in there all the way.
Yeah.
But if it don't go in all the way, I have seen where it comes out, this wrist pin will slide over.
Yeah.
And then you start goulding, it'll gall the liner. I've seen that before.
Yeah, wow.
I've seen these snap rings come out where they wouldn't put in good. Because there is a ridge here that it will hold that ring in place.
Right.
But you saw how that snapped in. See how it's actually protruded up in there? So that's in there good. And line up like that. And this in here is
and
ready.
the wrist pin, the opening, you always set them opposite each other.
Open and set them opposite each other. I don't think there's no importance of it. It's just an older gentleman showed me this when I was a kid, and it just made sense.
Cool.
So this is ready for assembly. Like I said, I'm building all the pistons up first, and
you're gonna put oil on them.
I put oil. Where you want to put the oil mainly is down in this groove. See that groove? I put oil down in them grooves. This little can works really good too.
That's engine oil.
That's clean engine oil. I think we use 15 Rotella.
That's what's been in that engine for 1,000,000 miles already, is Rotella T.
So just make sure you get down in that groove. Really good. So I've never had this can, but I never thought about it until you said, hey, why don't you put that oil in that can? It's like, yeah, that's good.
That's my can from the house, man.
Because I always just set it down in a cup of oil. But, I mean, the job is to get it in the rings.
Yeah.
And so we'll just stick it in here to keep any dust from getting on it. And then we'll go to the next one.
Cool.